When you become a TYT member, not only do you get exclusive content, you become a part of our family. Click the link in the description box below to join the home of progressives.
Bernie Sanders has continued his drive to fundamentally alter our relationship with Saudi Arabia in a new New York Times op-ed. And I want to read just a few sections of it. You should definitely check it out. It was published within the last day. And it has to do with our longstanding military and economic relationship with Saudi Arabia, now viewed through the lens of not only the ongoing atrocities in Yemen, but they're also their targeted assassination of Jamal Khashoggi. So he says this: the likely assassination of the Saudi critic and the Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi underscores how urgent it has become for the United States to redefine our relationship with Saudi Arabia and to show that the Saudis do not have a blank check to continue violating human rights. He said, the United States is deeply engaged in this war. We are providing bombs the Saudi-led coalition is using. We are refueling their planes before they drop those bombs, and we are assisting with intelligence. He goes on to detail some of the specific instances in which multiple civilians have been killed with our assistance, including the bombing of the bus full of kids. And he talks about the sheer number of civilians. Something like 1 out of 3 bombings is against non-military targets. And we, at every step of the way, are assisting in that. Finally, he says, I very much hope that Congress will act, that we will finally take seriously our congressional duty, end our support for the carnage in Yemen, and send the message that human lives are worth more than profits for arms manufacturers. So he joined several other politicians who are not only hoping that, as he tried earlier this year, to reassert Congress's control over military actions like this, but to take back the planned arms sales to them and basically have some consequence, any consequence whatsoever, for their targeted assassination of this journalist.
At the risk of talking about something that I don't know enough about, I am critical, and many of us are. You are as well, John, and I think Jayar too, of some people to the left of us for some of the, I think, nonsense that is spewed on a fairly regular basis. Although there's certainly plenty of smart people to the left of me. But one of the things that they were right on, and that I didn't know enough about and sort of shamefully ignored, was Yemen. And they've been right from the start, and we shouldn't have been involved in it. And the beginning of this is on Barack Obama and John Kerry and Samantha Power's watch. And Trump expanded it, but they started it. And some of their defense would be, we didn't mean for it to be like this, and I think they probably didn't mean for it to be like this, and they thought Hillary Clinton would win, and there would be still an opportunity to sort of solve this diplomatically, and then there wasn't. But it's on them; they started it, and
I agree.
I wish I had been stronger and tougher on this then, rather than just now, when it's now Trump's deal.
See, your approach is rare. That's the problem. So the whole point of admitting when you've done something wrong, or if you've gotten yourself into something you shouldn't have gotten yourself into, is to first, if you're honest from the beginning and say, this is the reasoning, this is what we were trying to get in here to do. If it didn't work out that way, it means you misinterpreted something, you misread something. That's what humans do. No one's perfect, but we have this, the end game is to make sure that you're not held responsible for anything. Oddly, coming from a bunch of people in government that always say, hey, personal responsibility, take care of what you're supposed to do. Hey, pull yourself by your bootstraps and do the responsible thing. We teach our kids that. But the end game when you're a politician is to say, hey, it wasn't me. Or since it now was me, I have to continue to go down this horrible road that I already know is a horrible road, because somehow that's a better way to go. Killing more people, murdering more children, doing this way is better than me going, okay, we totally effed this up. How do we fix this? Or to a degree, change course so at least it doesn't get worse. The only thing that matters is covering for yourself or saying, hey, it wasn't me, so maybe vote me back in again. That's all that matters. Yeah. So if you were in position during the Obama administration, Ben, you'd go, hey guys, we really messed this up. I totally misread how we were gonna do this. What are we gonna do now? And they go, shh. So, and even more so in an administration like this. Like, oh, well, you mean I can get more votes off of this and just continue to demonize certain folks? This is perfect, because you see all of the hatred that came towards Barack Obama from the opposing side of the aisle did not say, hey, do you know what he's doing? In Yemen, we would never do this. Because if they get power, they would definitely do this, because it makes money.
Yeah, you're right. We have to acknowledge the context of it, that it did start under there. I would clarify, just in case it wasn't clear, I've never supported this conflict, and I've actually been talking about the conflict, the famine, and the cholera for literally years now.
I never supported it, but it wasn't. But the criticism of it was not even close to the forefront of my mind. Like
Well,
that's all. I just mean like
yeah, but
I
certainly
wish
you've questioned our closeness with Saudi Arabia.
I have, yeah, and that's an issue that's a peculiar relationship and a complicated relationship and a relationship that has spanned multiple presidents, multiple administrations. So Greg Barker made a film called The Final Year, which is really interesting about the last year of American foreign policy under Barack Obama, their final year, which sort of features Ben Rhodes, Samantha Power, and John Kerry principally. There's also some Susan Rice and some Barack Obama in it too, but it's mostly those other three. And then I did a Q&A with those with Rhodes and Power and the director Greg Barker. And first of all, it's a good film. And the last question I asked her was, what's the thing you goofed most? This was about a year ago now. What's the biggest mistake you guys made? And she said, oh, Yemen, no question. We left a mess for these guys. We left a mess.
2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below. Then you're a TYT subscriber. And second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.